So today around Christmas time I thought we'd do a little video where I go over the 7 things that cost under $50 that have changed my life the most. So these are actual objects or things that have really impacted my self-improvement journey, and it's the kind of perfect time. Maybe you've got a bit of money after Christmas and you want to get some things that are going to help you out. So this is my list, and the first one is a whiteboard. Starting off very simple here. So this is my whiteboard that I have at the moment. And it's a very important thing, and maybe the thing that kind of really began this kind of organisation on my self-improvement journey. So just to go through my very specific whiteboard, you can see at the top here, if it focuses at all, I've got a habit tracker, which I sort of tick off every day. And then under that I have written out my goals. So my week goals, which is kind of like a to-do list, and then my month goals. Then I got a little bit of a phrase at the bottom, manifest excellence, which is a phrase on this channel. But why is this powerful? And basically why the whiteboard works is because it has this kind of power over you because it's always there. It's very visible. A lot of people use their phones or their note apps to keep track of their habits or their goals or their to-do lists. But having it in a place where it's always visible, you can always see it, is a very important thing. It means it's always visible, always there, always kind of hanging over you. The other people in your house, if you live with people, can see it. They can keep you kind of accountable in that way. And it's a very useful and powerful tool to have. Then next is a journal. This bad boy here. And we just did a video on journaling, so go and watch that if you're interested in kind of why journaling is so powerful. But to give you the very quick rundown, it really helps you to control your emotions and your kind of subconscious thoughts a lot. So what I like to say is a journal acts as a bridge between your your subconscious and conscious minds. And it lets you take these emotions that exist in your subconscious and rationalize them by writing them down and letting your kind of forebrain process what's going on. So it's a very useful thing in that way. What I've been experimenting with recently is kind of splitting up my journals into different things. So I've got this one here, which is my kind of everyday journal that I'll just write about what I did today, what kinds of things I may be struggling with emotionally, whatever, some philosophical thoughts. Then I've got another journal where I talk about the books that I've read, where I maybe give them a rating, where I keep track of how much I'm reading every day. And then a little habit tracking journal, a little pocket journal, a small one about this big, that I carry with me absolutely everywhere. And I kind of just write down what sort of stuff I need to do today. So the to-do list is kind of more of a productivity focused journal where I talk a bit more about work and things like that. The next would be a good time to get our sponsor for this video out of the way, and that is Tiege Hanley, if that is going to focus. So Tiege Hanley is a very uncomplicated skincare system for men. And funny story, right, is what I've actually been using for a lot of years. So funnily enough, this channel started getting a bit bigger recently and sponsors have started reaching out to me. But even before that, I'd been using Tiege for maybe 3 or 4 years now. And it's really great. It's a very, like I say, uncomplicated skincare system for men. They give you a little box, and inside of that box you get a face wash, a scrub. And this is about the kind of basic package. So I'm talking about the stage 1 package that they offer. And that's the one that I recommend. You get a face wash, a scrub, and an AM and a PM moisturizer. But it's a very simple thing to use. It kind of just works. And I think a lot of what we talk about on this channel is simplicity, getting stuff that just sort of does the job. And you don't need to think about 1,000 things that you need to do alongside it. So this is a very kind of one and done thing. You buy it, it comes, it shows up, and you get all the benefits from it. It improves your skin. It makes you feel more confident, because this is the important thing. It's about feeling confident in your own skin. When I was younger, I used to suffer a lot with bad skin, with acne. And alongside improving my diet and things like this, Tiege Hanley was one of the products that really helped me kind of overcome that very mental block, because that's what it was for me. It was a real kind of mental block that I had. I felt very insecure talking to people, talking to girls, for example. And so having the kind of faith that, you know what, I am doing something, my skin is improving, I'm using moisturizers, all of this stuff, is a really important thing. So that's basically what it is. And you can use my code in the description if you want to get 40% off your first box and then 20% off all following boxes. So definitely have a think about that. Maybe, like I say, you've got a bit of Christmas money, so go and try out a box of Tiege Hanley, or buy it for someone who's important to you, maybe your dad or your brother or one of your good friends. But yeah, thank you to Tiege Hanley for sponsoring this video, really appreciate that, and go and check them out. really supports the channel. So the next is this bad boy. And again, this kind of has a history on the channel. By the way, it's a flip phone if you can't see. But this has a big history on the channel because the first video we made that ever blew up was a video on switching to a flip phone. And that got about 25,000 views or something. And for me, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. I can see this YouTube thing going somewhere. But the flip phone is great. And it's a tool, and that's how it should be used. So this is the thing with flip phones, is people don't often get what I mean when I say switch to a flip phone. Because I don't mean always. I don't mean the only phone you'll ever use again is a flip phone, because that's not true. I use Instagram, I use Snapchat, I use Google Maps, I use Trainline in the UK, I use Uber. I can't use any of that on a flip phone, right? So don't switch to a flip phone. Don't only have a flip phone as your daily driving phone. But where it is powerful is for those moments when you need some presence. So for example, you're going out with your friends, maybe you're going on a first date. I don't know what else, but these kinds of things where you want full presence. I mean, for work, a lot of the times when I've used this have been when I've been kind of very intensely focused on one project or an exam. So the first time I ever switched to a flip phone was during my exam season in my third year of university. And I switched to this and I'd go to the library with it and I was completely undistracted. There'd be nothing pinging in my pocket and not waking me up, but kind of like ripping me out of focus. And so this is another important thing to kind of harness, is a tool inside of your arsenal that you can whip out whenever you need to lock in properly. Great word, lock in. We're going full self-improvement here. But when you need to kind of lock in, the flip phone is extremely useful to you. It's a tool that is going to help you stay completely focused on the task at hand. And then next is another one, and this is an alarm clock, and it's kind of famous on this channel, weirdly enough. And one of the most common comments that I get is, what alarm clock is that you're using? And for anyone interested, it's an Actim alarm clock. ACCTIM. That's not going to focus. Oh, there we go. But it's a great thing to have. And I mean, it's a very old alarm clock. I don't think you can be able to find this model, but look for Seiko ones. Seiko, S-E-I-K-O, digital alarm clocks. They're great, they're cheap. Why does it work? Okay, so it's not just an alarm clock, right? This isn't why it's powerful. It's not just because it beeps and you're cool. The reason why having an alarm clock is so important for every single person on self-improvement is because it gives you the power to charge your phone outside your room. Let that sink in for a second. This is such an important thing to have, because at the moment, what is the first thing you do when you wake up? You get your phone, you get back into bed, you scroll. You scroll Instagram, you check all your messages, you check your emails, blah, blah, blah. You see what's happening overnight, because so much happens overnight. So this is what the alarm clock lets you do. It lets you put your phone outside of your room, so when you wake up, you just wake up. You wake up into complete silence with no notifications going off, no nothing, just you and your mind like it's supposed to be, and you can properly think about what you actually want to do for your morning. So if you have a morning routine that maybe you struggle to follow, then getting an alarm clock is really going to help you with that, because it's going to give you more of that mental clarity every morning. So definitely give one a go. The next, and I don't have a visual representation to show you this one, but it's buying some red LEDs. And why are these important? And it's not because of freaky time, but red LEDs are important because of the impact that they have on your circadian rhythm. So this idea comes from Andrew Huberman, and by the way, really recommend his podcast. If you want to know more about science, psychology, neuroscience, go and check that out. But red LEDs are very important for our circadian rhythm. So what is that? A circadian rhythm is the kind of 24-hour clock that our bodies run on that let us know when it's time to sleep. And blue light, so screens, white lights above your head, these blue lights, they make your brain think it's daytime. And if you have those on at night, so say you have your big white LED lights on late at night, your brain thinks that's the sun. And it's going to keep you awake. And this is one of the reasons why you might be struggling to sleep, is because all of this blue light exposure late at night. So a little tip is, along the bottom of your room, or the places that you commonly walk late at night, just run some red LEDs along, like the skirting boards. I don't know what that's called in different countries, but the little wooden boards at the bottom of your walls. Just run some red LEDs along them. And at night, at about 7 p.m, 8 p.m, turn off your main lights and just use those red LEDs, because they still let you see, but they don't disrupt your circadian rhythms. Your body still thinks it's nighttime. And this is powerful, right? And if you've not done this before, then really try it. Because what happens is, the second those red LEDs go on, you start to feel tired. And you get a bit confused, and it's like, why do I just instantly feel tired? And it's because that's how you should be feeling, right? This is a common experience for so many of us. Sitting there after dark, right? At maybe 8, 9, 10 p.m, 3 in the fucking morning, right? And we feel so awake. That's unnatural, and that shouldn't be happening. And it's not because you're a nighttime person. Maybe for 5% of the population it is, but it's not because of that. It's because you're disrupting your circadian rhythms. It's because you're blasting your brain with blue light late at night. So get some red LEDs or a red sunset lamp or some sort of red lighting that you can use at night that won't disrupt your sleep. The next, and do it with me everyone, stay hydrated boys. Next is a water bottle. And this is a really basic one, and I really debated whether I should put this in the video or not, but it's just good. And I mean, getting a good quality water bottle. So this one, I think I probably spent like 15, 20 quid on it. And I was like, wow, that is a ridiculous amount of money to spend on a water bottle. And it is. But it has really changed the way that I consume water. Because I mean, for starters, so the backstory of this, the reason why I bought it, is because if you can see, it's completely metal. It doesn't even have plastic around the rim. And the lid is the same. The lid is metal as well. And this was a time when I was doing a lot of research. I'd read the book Estrogenetics, I forget the author. Estrogenetics, something like that. And it was a book about BPAs, BPAFs, phthalates, all of these things that we find in plastic that really disrupt people. So they're estrogenic is what they called it. It means they put estrogen into your body, which is not some kind of like misogynist thing to say. This is bad for women as well. So it's bad for women and for men to have too much estrogen. And BPAs and BPAFs, so plastics, are very bad for this. And so getting a fully metal water bottle is actually going to do a lot for your health, generally speaking. I mean, it's going to stop you intaking a lot of microplastics, which is a good thing. So go and invest in a water bottle that's made fully of metal. Try and find one that doesn't even have a plastic lid. But there is a psychological aspect to it too. Because if you're just drinking out of little plastic water bottles, they're not really there. For some reason, the fact that this looks nice, the fact that I can just have this on my desk and it kind of just looks nice, it actually encourages me to drink more water, which is kind of a cool thing. And I don't fully understand the psychology behind it, but I'd say I definitely have started drinking more water since buying this. And it's 750 milliliter capacity, so it means if I drink 3 of them a day, roughly speaking, I'm getting enough-ish water. I mean, 4 or 5 would be more ideal, but you catch the drift. But anyway, go and invest in a better quality water bottle. And then finally, another one that's quite hard for me to show, but it's in here somewhere, trust me, is plants. Get a plant. So either get a plant that's already grown, like from a shop, or what I did, which was quite fun, is I went to the shops and I bought some peppers, like the vegetable, and I cut them in half and I got the little seeds out and I put them into little pots with dirt. So I mean, the pots and the dirt is what you're really buying here, not necessarily the actual plant. And then they grew slowly and I got to watch them grow and I was like watering them, and I've got these sun grow lamps as well. This is probably why you see such bright light on my face, is because I've got these grow lamps turned on. And it's a really fun process. And I can't fully describe it, but it's just really fun. Number one, having something to look after, having that kind of responsibility where you're looking after these plants, where they're growing, where every day you wake up and you see like a little spurt of green coming out of the ground. It's a cool thing to see, but also that, number two, it's just like, it's really fun just watching this kind of cycle of life happen. And that might sound really cringy, but at the time I was reading Spring Snow by Yukio Mishima, and this is a Japanese author, and he has a lot of these concepts of kind of growth and impermanence, and the beauty of impermanence is a big theme inside of Japanese philosophy, and being able to watch life happen very slowly in front of you is quite a philosophical experience in a way. So it's quite enjoyable for me to kind of watch these plants grow. It gives me that responsibility, that accountability, that thing to look after. So those are the kind of 7 things, and I hope some of those helped you out, and maybe you'll go away and choose one of them that you're going to buy. And hopefully that will help you a lot, because each of these things has really improved my self-improvement journey. So anyway, thank you for watching that video. Like, subscribe, do all the rest. Check out Teach Hanley as well. Thank you for them sponsoring the video. And Manifest Excellence. I'm so proud of you.